of counting residential units is only as accurate as that initial first number, 350 residential units. And it's also only as accurate as all the different times that residential or building permits were counted. So making sure that we didn't miss any along the way. And then the other method of obtaining a residential unit number for today is to just look at the Mendocino City Community Services District data for residential hookups. In their data, they specify residential use or vacation home use, things like that. So according to them, after eliminating all the units that were either that are suspected as being used as a vacation home rental, but they're on the Mendocino Community Services District list as a residential unit, because some of those units were found to be paying transient occupancy tax. And after removing those that were suspected of being vacation home rentals, as well as any units that were outside of the Mendocino Town Plan boundary, using the GIS system, I came up with 399 units. This kind of explains a little bit better. All of these units here are residential units according to the Mendocino City Community Services District data. However, they also all pay transient occupancy tax. So I removed them from the list. This is table 7, and I put that in there because I thought it was maybe one of the more confusing tables, and we can return to that when you have questions if it's unclear. But all of these people, since they were counted as Mendocino Community Services District residential units, but they also pay transient occupancy tax, they were removed from the residential unit total. Okay, some of the challenges with counting residential units include like I said, the MCCSD data that counts things as residential units but may in fact be used for other uses, such as the units I was just describing, as well as on, for example, on the MCCSD data, there's a vacation facility that has 4 bed and breakfast units, as well as 3 residential units listed. But on their website, they have 4 in-rooms and 2 cottages, leading me to believe that possibly 2 of those cottages are not, in fact, residential, and there's only 1 residential unit on the property. So things like that make it difficult to actually get an exact number. Another concern that is just out there and difficult to account for as far as residential units is the town plan requires that in the mixed use district, there needs to be 50% commercial and 50% long-term residential units. Without more research, I can't know that right now. So that would require more research to make sure that that's being met. And there was a lot of information and numbers. So nice picture, just to take a moment. All right, and now I'm going to talk about visitor serving units, and the town plan gets a little confusing with having lots of different types of visitor serving units. And so I'm just going to define them for everyone really quickly so that it's really clear, because different policies deal with different visitor serving unit types. So first there's what they call the visitor serving facilities, which actually defined in the zoning code includes everything. But they also just use this term for Table 4.13-1 in the Mendocino Town Plan, which includes inns, hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, and the Mendocino Art Center. And the town plan states that there are 234 units allowed, period. There are also single unit rentals, and there's a lot of words, so I tried to make the really important ones jump out for you. A single unit rental is used in conjunction with, it's an attached or detached structure used in conjunction with a residential or commercial unit. So basically it's the second use on a property. Whereas a vacation home rental, there's only 1 use on the property. And as far as the town plan policies, vacation home rentals and single unit rentals are kind of grouped together, and policies are applied to those, and then different policies apply just to the Table 1 units in the town plan, like the hotels and motels. Okay, here are the numerical findings. This is also in your report, so I know that's a lot of numbers up there, but you also have it at your fingertips. So basically what you can see here, I used the newer number of 350 units that I obtained from my investigative research into the Community Advisory Committee findings, survey findings, because I think this is probably a more true number of 350 residential units. And so you can see by using the different counting methods, we either have an increase of 49 units if we use the Mendocino City Community Services District, or an increase of 23 units if we use the permits that were issued. Additionally, we have an increase of in-rooms, a decrease in vacation home and single unit rentals, which I did lump together. There has been a suggestion that we keep them separate because vacation home rentals is a sole use